Hey, this is Carla, Discover Your Center, and hey, we have the winter wonderland here in North Carolina. It's rare that we get a lot of snow, but it just started. And I want to let you know that there are a few spots still open in my Root to Rise Thrive program, which begins next week. And this is just a beautiful offering. I just feel delighted and honored to be able to work with women facilitating self-care, and self-care that's rooted in ancient tradition, mainly Ayurveda, but we play with a lot of energetic tools. We look at the science behind how we build habits, and we really dive into spirituality and what that is for you. It's really about how do you learn what helps you thrive and really feel and tap into, remember the inherent whole self that you are, so that you can hold all those spaces for your family and community and world and from a really grounded, rooted place and space. I'm always inspired by the women in here. Many are choosing to continue. So if you'd like to join us, you can go to discoveryourcenter.com, and under events, you can pull down and you'll find all the information for Root to Rise Thrive. If you want to hop on the phone, let me know. I'm happy to chat. We'll run for 11 weeks, and each week there's short videos or audios that you get to look at that talk a little bit about self-care from the Ayurvedic perspective, a bigger kind of like overall overarching theme or principle, and you know, the what of it, the why of it, and then we start thinking about the how. And the how, you know, big fast breakthroughs can happen, but what I found is that when we're really working in the slow and steady sustainability in our self-care, that's really where we see the impact. And I'm realizing that now as I'm about to turn 51 tomorrow, yay! And I really have been reflecting and even looking at some words in my journal from a decade ago, how I used to wake up just feeling heavy in my body, in my mind, in my spirit, and so many body aches. There was so much judgment in my world about me and about other things, and just so much. And I really believe that we can begin to reverse the aging process. And I know that sounds bold, but I really feel that in my whole being and in my bones. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that most of us were never taught how to care for ourselves. We weren't taught how to care for our body, how to have a body, how to be in a body, how to sync with cycles, the daily cycles, the monthly cycles, the seasons, the annual cycles, our life cycles. And it really doesn't take a lot to do that when we start with some really slow and steady steps, simple things. And simple doesn't translate to easy. Perhaps you've already realized that before. We would all be doing all these things that we're told to do about taking care of ourselves. And it is not about doing what you're told to do. It's about really understanding the uniqueness of you and how you function in the world. Ayurveda has a beautiful map to do that. And then we play in it. I always like to say we dance in there, and we begin to notice what lights us up. We begin to notice what weighs us down, what gives us more energy, what expands our own life force, what seems to suck it dry. And then we choose more of what expands our energy, of what makes us feel good in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits. And then we really can tap into what is the deeper hunger, what is the deeper, like, what are we really yearning for inside of us? And the more we do that, the inner critic kind of dissipates. And I'm not saying always, like, what we learn in Root, Rise, Thrive is how to shift things, right? Like, I can still wake up in the morning and feel like there's aches in my body, or kind of some negative thoughts moving through my head, or the critic is really strong, but I know how to take care of me. And it's not spiritual bypassing, it's not flipping the switch, it's actually being with it and knowing we can be with it all. And that builds resilience in self-care, which I believe then when we go out into the world, and life is full of transitions. They're full of transitions in our personal life and in the collective. And when we meet those, and this year has been so full of them. When we meet those, we can feel like we have the capacity to move through it. It doesn't always mean easy, but we can choose more ease in it, and we know that we can still have joy, and we know that we can still thrive, and we know that we still have so much to give to the world. So if that sounds like it might be a good fit for you to join us in this beautiful community, you can go to discoveryourcenter.com under events, pull down Root, Rise, Thrive, or email me, carla@discoveryourcenter.com. And if you have any questions, I love to chat with people before they come in. I want you to know that it's a good fit, and I usually sense if it's I can sense that too, if it's a good fit for us. So if this isn't it, like, go out in the world, find what lights you up. There's so many different ways to do that, but it is your birthright. Big chunks. It is your birthright to enjoy life, to be happy. And when we do that, I believe that we can build this capacity then to create the world that we know is possible and contribute to it in ways where we're making change and we're working where we can allow inner freedom and liberation in the external world for all. And as a woman, as a parent, as a daughter, as a human being, these are things that are important to me. And so I show up in my own self-care so that I can show up more grounded, present in my family, for my community, for my world, in ways that work. So go out. If it's a winter wonderland by you, please enjoy it. Find what lights you up. From my heart to yours. Take care.